Welcome back to the LCAC studios. I'm Michael Shivick with my co-host tonight, Scott Weikel of Leicester. Now, some of you may know of the scene that is behind us over here on Waite Street. It is what's known as Leicester Christmas Lights, and I have the man, the myth, the legend right here in studio, the man behind Leicester Christmas Lights, and Scott Weikel. So give us a little background about how this all started off.
26 years ago, I met my wife. She had a couple decorations out there, and her birthday's right after Thanksgiving. What do you get your wife for a birthday? She liked this, so it was an easy birthday present, and each year it got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And about 5-6 years ago, I got my mitts into it, and I don't do anything halfway in my life. So
that's great.
It's grown and grown. Every year we get more and more people coming down. Every year I feel I had to top it, do more for them. And it's grown into the fiasco it has grown into.
Fiasco.
So,
well, we would say call it maybe a wonderful regional attraction, and that's absolutely, we're getting some technical difficulties here in the background, but we'll take whatever we can get here. So, in any case, so 25, going on 26 years?
Yeah.
So this year you took a year off, so what happened this year?
Well, the year before last, I made the mistake of going on the Boston news stations. That brought crowds down and the crowds down and the crowds down. There was literally people coming from every state around. A gentleman from a TV show called The Prophet, looking for Worcester Airport. He saw it. He podcasted to 650,000 people. So the next thing you know, we had 3,000 plus people a night showing up at the little display. And those people in Leicester know the street. And it got really a little bit out of hand down through there.
Well, so we try to address that issue here, and it looks like you guys have been doing a wonderful job down there, and there's a reason that many people are coming down there. You say about 3,000 people a night?
Yeah, last year, well, the prior year, we had a really windy night, and 30-mile-an-hour winds, and I have 20-foot inflatables, 200 inflatables out there. So I was in the backyard keeping an eye on everything, and so for grins and giggles, I timed people. I looked at my watch, and I counted people walking by. In a 15-minute period, 375 people walked by me, standing in the backyard. So,
well, you guys have put a lot of work into that, and it's really nice that you've gone out of your way to kind of just do this on your own, to celebrate the Christmas spirit. And I will say you're a very principled man, and you're doing it for the sake of the spirit of the holidays. So you guys are raising some money down there as well. So maybe tell us a little bit about that.
See, I don't do it for any other reason we like to do it. Every night of the week I get messages. I need a secretary to keep up with my messages I get on my Facebook page. People down on their luck, they can't afford this. Hey, is it free? So anyway, there will never be a fee to come see my display.
Good.
But bottom line, Chief Hurley has been 100% fantastic with everything, and I know they're getting a rap for shutting us down. They never, ever told us we couldn't do it.
Okay.
But
so
anyway,
that's clear that they never told you.
They never did. They were great. I can't say enough for it. The neighbors were great. One or two don't like it. They never say anything, but for the most part, the neighbors encourage me. So about 4 years ago, we decided to take donations for local charities. And we raised last year about $12,000 for charities. Helped out a few in town, Relay for Life Cancer, different food pantries in the area, and honestly, all summer long, when I heard of somebody down on their luck, I anonymously donated money to them and helped them out and stuff like that with the display.
Not only is this a regional display bringing 3,000 plus people a night, giving some notoriety and attraction to a town that sometimes might have a little bit of a difficulty trying to pull people in. So the local businesses benefit from this. The townspeople kind of benefit from having the notoriety to it, and obviously the visitors. And like you said, it's a no-cost event. The electricity bill is going through you.
The bill 100% paid by me. All of those donations. Every time I see somebody putting money in that box, I said it's not for electric bill.
Every penny of that money goes to donations. Every penny
that I'll look you in the eye and tell you that every penny of that has went to donations. The display has been 100% funded by my wife and I. Right. And my wife and I have done 100% of the display ourselves.
Yeah, and I mean, tell us about what that's been like. What kind of work goes into this type of a display?
It's a massive amount of work.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about what I'm about
we
to
can
say.
see it. If I try to move myself, you can see a little bit
This is
better
just the
behind
front
us.
of it. This is that goes around the back and up the other side. Like I said, there's 200 inflatables alone.
And this isn't just a drive-by thing. This
No,
is
you get out and walk around.
It's a winter wonderland you're
You
putting
get out
on
and
here.
walk around. I stay self-employed for the sake of the display. It has cost me customers, it has cost me business, it has cost me clients and people I do work for. Not complaining. I'm not complaining.
No.
I generally start it, take the Halloween display down on October 1st. I don't work the whole month of October. When I don't work, I don't get paid. It's 500 plus man hours to do this.
Jeez.
Because we allow people to walk on the ground, all of those cords, I'm on my hands and knees for
Making
8
sure.
hours, putting little metal stakes in all of the cords so that nobody trips on them.
And making sure they're taking your due
And
diligence
it's
there.
just,
And I'm sure your premises liability attorney appreciates that.
yes. So it's
we're at a situation right now where you guys have been doing this for a long time. It's a pretty massive display. People really like this. It's taken on a life of its own, like you said. And you've been reaching out as far as, is my understanding, you've gotten some notoriety out, regionally as far as Pennsylvania?
Yeah, last year, the one when, how do I word this cleanly?
That's all right, do the best you can.
When
We're
it
just
got
live.
hectic down there, when I put on my page, sorry, we can no longer do this because it's too epic and we need, I'm not blaming Chief Hurley again, but we need a police detail.
Yeah.
And contrary to what people think, I'm not a rich person.
Me either.
So then one young lady from town stepped up and offered to volunteer to help pay for it. And then Marcus Lemonis, the guy from the TV show, he caught wind of it. He felt bad that he thought he was responsible, so he paid for the police detail that night. But on my one page there, on my about it, 124,000 people saw that post across the United States.
It's
country.
quite
I was
a
getting messages.
wide-reaching post.
There was 390 comments on that post.
So now what's the
alone.
Facebook page? Facebook.com/Leicester
Leicester
Christmas
Christmas Lights on Facebook. I have just under 9,000 followers.
Over on Waite Street, huh? Just making it happen.
I don't know another place in town that has that
I
many
know. Is
followers.
that what you guys are?
The average of my posts on there is seen by 7,000 to 8,000 people.
Really
That's an
very
average
popular.
post. When I put the post on there that we were not doing it anymore, 63,000 people saw that, with 377 shares and 354 comments.
Well, we might be the ghost of Christmas past or the ghost of Christmas future. Let's hope. So now we're talking about the police detail. We've talked about what a good thing this is for the community, what a good thing it is for individuals, and you're doing this. Donations are coming forward. You're keeping it in the spirit, and you're keeping it. You don't want to diminish the spirit of Christmas. You don't want to diminish this particular display by cheesing it out, by making it a sponsorship type of thing. So when you get the donations, you're making sure that you're staying in the Christmas spirit and making those donations out. But now we run into the issue where we got the police details, and I think you showed me one of the bills before. I don't know if that was that for the weekend.
That was.
Was that for the weekend? 3 days, 4 days?
For 4 days.
So 4 days, I think it's just over $3,000.
Just under
$3,000.
yeah,
Now,
under.
I talked with the town, myself, and there seems to be, we're going to try to do something we can to try to reduce those costs. But it's going to cost money to have
I
this
know they
detail
are,
out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And nope, you've
And
been wonderful about it.
I'm not saying that the charges are wrong. I'm not saying
yeah.
this because people have said, and this is where I get really upset.
Yeah.
They're blaming the police, and well, they should volunteer the time.
No.
I wouldn't want them to,
Yeah.
even if I wouldn't want them to.
Absolutely. And because it's on a public street, it's different
No,
than if
I
it was
know
on.
it's a residential display.
Yeah,
bottom
no,
line,
so you're on board. You got a great thing. We just have one thing standing in the way, and it's making sure that we can cover those details. And I think in the spirit of Christmas, in the spirit of community, that's why we're out here tonight on the Citizens Corner, just kind of letting you know that we're going to be dropping I think it was Kevin DeSanya
Yes.
from Leicester, working on that as well. Because I'm a public employee, of course, I can't solicit any donations at all.
I would do it, but you're talking to a guy who doesn't even know how to text.
Correct. So
Kevin
we do
started it.
have a GoFundMe page set up, and it's going to be GoFundMe/Leicester Christmas Lights. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to be up there. We're going to be trying to make this happen. And right now we were shut down last year, so we didn't have it this whole year.
Yeah,
and people were pretty bummed about that.
People have said, even last year, start a GoFundMe. Kevin started one last year for me. To me, I don't like that.
It cheapens the spirit.
Yeah. So I very nicely asked him to take it down. He understood. He pulled it down. And then we didn't do it this year, and all the comments on the page, hey, you gotta do it, what can we do to help? Start a GoFundMe, and I was really a little reluctant to do it. We took the year off. I had other offers to move it. One prominent place in Worcester wanted to move it. They wanted to call it Weikel's
So
Winter
now,
Wonderland.
hold on here.
Yep.
So people were trying to poach you out of town here. Is that my
Yes.
understanding?
I still have a couple
Options.
Yes. I'm not playing one ton off the
No,
other.
no one's saying that at all. But
Last year,
if 2 years go through and you can't do it, then
yeah, because
there may be an
see,
alternate.
As I told you, I grew up in Clinton. I've only lived in Leicester every 26 years, 2 weeks.
Well, thank you.
But up until this hit last year, I never knew what it meant to everybody, and actually I feel like I'm proud of Leicester now, just the outpouring of support, and I didn't realize what the display meant to everybody. I ask Eddie if anybody doubts it, go to my page, Leicester Christmas Lights. It'll take about 4 hours to read it, but read the comments that have been posted on there through the last year.
And now I've received messages from people unprovoked saying, why isn't this happening? Why can't we donate land to have this happen? Again, it just comes down to covering the cost of it.
See, the thing with the land is, I did talk a little bit about moving it to the Little League field behind the police station. The church has offered the land up there. Need power. I have a whole new electrical service I brought in. It takes a lot of power. But more importantly, and including the place in Worcester wanted to move it, it was a baseball field, let's just leave it at that. If we moved it to the Little League field, all of those 200 inflatables have a 24-inch square board. They're on the lawn.
So you're taking the
It kills the
hit.
grass.
You're taking the hit
It kills the
property-wise.
grass. That's
You're taking
fine.
the hit. I know, but no, you're so modest. But you're taking the hit on the property. You're taking the hit on electricity. We gotta, people love this, and we
Can
want
you
to keep
picture
it going.
50,000 people walking around the Little League outfield? What would do
Well,
to
I
it?
can picture it, but I can't say it would be good for field maintenance
Yeah,
costs, which would
exactly.
be another
So-
added cost that we try to avoid that. So now you've been in contact with is a television show that does?
Oh,
this
there's
kind of
a
stuff?
show
In a
called.
preliminary way, right?
There's a show called Great American Christmas Light Fight. It's on
Okay.
ABC, December. It's shows that pit each other up against it. People said you should go on that. And I've always said no, because I don't do it for competition reasons. I don't do it for that reason. But thinking, it looks like we might be able to do it again. And I want to make this a Leicester display, no longer the Weikel's Christmas. To me, this is the town of Leicester's Christmas display. That's part of the reason, one of the big reasons I didn't really seriously think about moving it out of town. So some of these offers that come in, excuse me.
And I want to say that it's absolutely been apparent through my discussions with you that you want to keep it here in town. You're
My
here in
first
town. You've
choice,
been here.
I always keep it where it was.
Yeah. So we're going to try to figure out a path forward. It sounds like we're getting there.
Yes.
So there's just one last piece of this puzzle, and it's you're gonna hit that GoFundMe page. I know this is I can't solicit any donations, So
I think I said it to you, I think I said it to Kevin, I'm the type, I make a decision and I stick with it, but the GoFundMe is really tearing me up inside about even doing it. So I did end up, the other night I did fill out the application to go on that Christmas. I know a friend who knows one of the producers on there, and he said he had heard about our display. This is a national TV show that had heard about our display.
Little old Leicester, little old Waite Street.
Yeah.
It's such a small impediment, it seems, just to cover these police details. I think that, again, you've noted that people have been interested in this. Maybe businesses are interested in kind of, sending some money over your way. Maybe, again, people, if they have an issue with, hey, listen, he's pulling in money from donations, that's not why you do it. And there's so much integrity to that stance, and to make sure that you're keeping it in the Christmas spirit. You're not doing it for any other reason. And the fact that, we almost had to pull you back and say, hey, come on, we really appreciate what you do here. A lot of people really like this.
Like I said, the outpouring of support, the private messages I get.
It's like the little kids and the moms and the families, and they really enjoy this. Little text messages that I get from people about this.
Literally in tears down there fighting cancer. I've always said, there's not a person who's not going through something personal in their own life. Everybody, I don't care who you are, you have something. And if the display helps them forget about it for 15 minutes, it's well worth it. I could tell you story after story, the letters we get and the stuff like that. Our refrigerator's plastered with them. I've watched little kids grow up from infants. It's really cool. They come down and they put their kids next to a certain decoration. And next year they come back. And there's somebody on there from last year. If you go back to last year, posted in December, a lady did, everybody's young to me now, but of a little girl each year growing up from on up, and there's some friends I now have because of the display that I met down there. So
I mean, it's a good community event, and something we definitely need to keep in town. So you know, we're going to be here. We're doing our show live from LCAC. You know, this is the community coming together to try to, you know, push this forward here. And, you know, as a selectman in town, so many people have reached out to me on this issue that, you know, it just seemed that we had to do something. So we had spoken when I was running for office initially.
Yes.
And we just had a preliminary discussion. So I know it kind of, you know, appalled me that it didn't go forward this year. But again, there's various reasons why that didn't happen. But it seems that with such a want and need, and you know, you're good at it and a desire to do it, and you know, for all the right reasons, that we got to make this happen one way or
Yeah,
the
I'm the
other.
type, I'll do anything for you, but I ask nothing of nobody. And that's, I didn't approach the town about this.
And that
It's-
puts us in a
I've always figured-
it puts us in a predicament where you can't ask
Well,
and I can't ask for
word
money.
did get back to me that you guys were getting hammered and the police were getting hammered, and I don't want that. And that's why, if you go back on my page, every one of my posts said the neighbors did not shut us down, they didn't
Yeah.
complain. The police didn't shut us down, the town didn't shut us down, because I do know across the country there are that do shut them down. And I never wanted you guys to catch shrapnel of everything.
There's got to be a way, I think, that we can reduce costs on this, and I think there's got to be a way, if we get the word out that something this great is in jeopardy and the reasons why, that I think people are going to support this. So the reason we're here tonight doing this extra special edition of the Citizens Corner here for Leicester Christmas Lights is to make sure that people know that this is an issue and that we need to solve this issue. And if you look at, again, I'll try to lean out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
Here. We give them the full Monty here. It's a wonderful display, and it goes around behind the entire property, correct?
Yes, it goes up back, behind the house, down around the others, and it's all laid out in paths, and they're all in themes. And I pride myself because my mom is now in a nursing home, and she'll never walk again. But people in wheelchairs can get out and come around. People with babies can get out and come around. I get messages every, hey, can I get around in a wheelchair? Yes, you can. You may not have to be pushed
So it's that
out.
extra magical type of element, being able to walk amongst it in a 3D type of way rather than just a drive-by with the. And it's nice enough when people do it that way, where they put the music to the, you know, they put a radio frequency blocker. But look, I see the face there. He's like, that's not. You guys are on a different level.
I wouldn't say level, because I know how much work goes into that. We partial to ours because parents, we laugh. Parents have to pick up their 3-year-olds screaming and crying and kicking and leaving. We have people coming down.
Who wants to leave Santa Claus anyways?
Well, we passed out 13,000 candy canes last year. The year last year we did it. 13,000. Matter of fact, I'm on my way to hit the stores now that they're really marked down low. I donated my supply that I had left over. I donated them to local charities and stuff all throughout the Worcester County this year because I wasn't sure if we were doing it. And they will go bad after a couple of years.
Yeah.
So now I have to go out and replenish my supply of
Well, it's in
candy
the
canes.
spirit of giving that you're doing all this, and again, the reason that we're doing this show tonight, which again, you're kind of a behind-the-scenes guy, but what you do is so the opposite of behind the scenes, and you're modest about it, but you're in the spirit of giving, and you're in the spirit of doing it for the right reasons, in the spirit of Christmas, and that's why we hope people are going to support this. I think you're going to see some support here. You know, based on what I've heard, and people let me know what can I do.
That's what I've heard, but I've always been, even my real life, I don't ask anything of anybody. I don't.
Except in this one time, we're going
Well,
to set this fun page up, and we're going to try to get you on that ABC show. Wouldn't that be nice in a couple of years if they're willing to
I heard
accept
that
you
they were
on?
pretty much filled for this year, but next year is their booking. But I don't know. I did it for grins and giggles too, just to.
You've done it for the right reasons. You're giving back to the community. You know, I think the community's going to reach out. Leicester's a very, very tight-knit community, but it's more than that. You're pulling people from various states. You get news coverage from Boston.
Yeah.
So you're kind of a little institution on your own. So I mean, you should. You know, it's nice to see that you take pride and you're very modest about it.
I have to leave my job sites. I have to be home by 3:45 every night to turn them on. And, you know, wind is my worst enemy, and there are nights where I can't have them on. And although I post on my page, you get people coming from all over, well, why aren't there lights on? And I've lost decorations down there because of the wind. So it's I don't eat supper till 11 o'clock at night from Thanksgiving till January 1st.
It's quite a lot of work.
Even when I shut them off at night,
Yeah.
now, especially when it's windy, when they deflate, I have to go tie them down. In the wind, I have to. I'm not complaining, but this is all behind the scenes stuff.
But that's all stuff that.
It's all love. I work.
And you've been doing this for decades.
In the decorating world, inflatables have a bad reputation.
Why?
Because they look like crap during the day when they're down. Who cares? You know?
Okay.
I can't get them to stand up.
They look great at night.
Do you know how many people come down to me and say, I try to put 3 strands of lights up. I can't do it. How the blank do you do this?
He's an expert,
I've
folks.
done it long enough that I know. I tell 2 people I know 2 things: what I do for a living and Christmas lights. Other than that, I'm an idiot.
Anyway, Scott. Okay. So, all right, Scott Weikel, thank you very much.
Mike.
Now, we get some very great cuts. It's a great cause. Again, you're doing this, if you look at all the facts and lay it all out, you're doing this, you're in the spirit of giving, you're doing this for the right reasons, for the wide-eyed children, for the magical component of it. What else? Is there something else that you can tell the people at home and on the internet that are watching? You know, is there anything else you want to fill them in on?
No, that's about it. I know some people might be saying it's November, January. Why is it? In my world, I have to plan. There's not a day to go by I don't think about it. So that's why we're talking about this in January instead of November or October, because I'll be starting this year. I probably won't do a Halloween display this year because I have bigger plans for Christmas if we're able to do it. So I'm probably not going to do Halloween. I'll start on Christmas in October. So this is why we kind of had to do the GoFundMe now. We needed to know if the money is there, because it all starts with, I'm not blaming the police again, I can't say that enough, but it all starts with that. We need to know.
And if there's a way that we can streamline the process with the way that the cars travel down, or that the way that we can block the streets off, we have to provide local access.
Yeah, I don't want to make it,
But there's got to be a way to accommodate this.
Chief early
I
on
haven't
that.
seen anybody that's actually against this project. So, you know, people like it, they like you, and we appreciate what you're doing here in town.
Thanks, Mike.
But if we can get people out there to support you as well, I think that that's going to be imperative. And, you know, thanks for everything that you're doing. And thanks for compromising a little bit and, you know, trying to come out and make sure that we can put it on to keep the spirit going in the 27th year.
It didn't seem like Christmas this year, and it honestly didn't. People said that
Can
to
you?
me.
I can't handle that. I can't handle what he just.
It honestly didn't seem like Christmas this year.
Father Christmas here.
It did, not just me, other people.
This is the guy
no.
of all the spirit
No.
right here. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you've heard it from people, you know, obviously on the Facebook page you can send people there, but I'm sure you heard it on your own. People are like, well, what do you mean that's not going on this year?
Oh yeah, everywhere.
So people are in Auburn, they're in Worcester, they're somewhere else. And you know, it's a good attraction for the town. You know, the businesses, you know, Ellers I think was seeing some an uptick in business, or I can't confirm that, but my understanding. But they're bringing people into town, they're buying coffees, they're buying gas, and it's what we need.
Newton, fall. And a guy says, "You're the guy from the Christmas show, Lights." I didn't know anybody out here would recognize me, so yeah.
Well, if we have our way, we can get you some national notoriety here. Let's get you on ABC. That's what I like to see. But in the interim, let's get you up and running this year. We got to pay for these details, and we'll meet with the town and see if we can streamline those costs. But we're going to have to. It's going to was it a little under $3,000 a weekend to get this going. A few details, some lights. But I think we need to get this going, and I think you're doing it for the right reasons. That's why we're here.
All right.
So you know, if there's any questions, obviously direct them directly to Scott.
Yeah.
But you know, Mike Shivick here on the Citizens Corner with Mr. Weikel. Any parting shots?
Nope, I just want to say thank you to the town for understanding, and thank you for everything they've done. So
it's just really nice to be a part of this, and you know, to pull you out of retirement, so to speak. And you know, I just can't thank you enough for what you're doing. You're like an art parquet, where you're over here, you're doing it for the good reasons, out of the goodness of your heart. And I can't thank you enough for the donations. I'm sure that those are well heeled as well, whether it be to food pantries, Relay for Life, or any of the individual.
Secret Santa for the kids of Leicester. That's a big thing.
Secret Santa? What is that?
The Secret Santa for the kids of Leicester. I told them that as long as we're doing a display, they're going to get their top of the list as far as that goes.
So that money's coming back to the town.
Yeah, and I don't want to start naming people I donate
I don't think
to.
please don't.
But yeah,
No,
but because most of them is anonymously too. So,
correct. Good.
But yeah, I told them they were top of the list, going to get it no matter what, because didn't grow up rich in Clinton. So that's
I was
probably
in Rochdale. We weren't rich either.
No, Mom worked in a plastic company, so we know what it's like to struggle a little bit. So.
Yeah. Well.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, well, I'm not rich, people. I'm not rich.
But you do it. Yeah, but you do
well,
it.
no, we get everybody. You must be rich. No, I'm not rich. So.
It's just the spirit that enthralls you.
Mm-hmm. It's my hobby. It's what I do.
And I think it's good for the town. So
6 o'clock on Sunday mornings, I'm headed to flea markets.
I think we can support this, guys, and I think we got to get out there and make sure it happens. It's what's the page again?
Leicester Christmas Lights on Facebook, and GoFundMe is Leicester Christmas Lights.
Leicester.
Leicester, Leicester. That's important because people come down and I can't find you. It's Lester.
Leicester.
Yeah. Quick story. It was
Yeah.
I was in my little shop there working November, And I heard, excuse me, and young lady outside with her mother, "You're not doing the lights this year?" I says, "No, we're not." She says, "But it says on the internet that you just turned them on November 17th. I says, "Ma'am, even if we were doing them, they don't come on till Thanksgiving." "No, it says on the internet." So when I got done working, I went in the house, looked, she typed in Leicester Christmas. She pulled up Leicester, England, Christmas, and that's what she pulled up.
I get a lot of soccer updates myself.
Oh, yeah. Well, I see on the police page that they get a lot of, but she...
Quite a soccer team they have in Leicester, England.
I don't.
Yeah, no, like very well, very well.
I don't know the rules of soccer.
Renowned.
So,
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But yeah, but she pulled up a page and it said 20,000 people attend the opening of Leicester. I mean, I don't think we get that big of a crowd, but
if we keep going, maybe you will. It's taken on a life of its own, like you said. And it's in the right spirit, the spirit of Christmas, and we're here trying to save Christmas to some extent. I think we can make this happen. So
thank you.
If there's anybody out there that has any questions, you can contact Scott directly through the Facebook page. Of course, I can't solicit any donations, but again, he's mentioned the GoFundMe page, the Facebook page. So you can see it behind us, beautiful display, and we'd like to keep this going. It's a great attraction for the town, so we want people to come out and support this, and you'll be hearing more about this going forward. So. This is Mike Shivick signing off here from the Citizens Corner, and Scott Weikel. Any final Merry Christmases or anything at all?
It's always Christmas time in my world.
All right. I think this is testament to that fact. Always Christmas, even in
I
January.
can put you to work down there.
No, I don't know. Hey, you know what? In the spirit of why we're here, let's do it. So if you're on YouTube, or if you're watching on the internet, or if you're watching at home on Leicester Cable Access, let's get out and support this guy and make it happen and support our town. All right? All right, Scott. Hey, thanks for coming in here, and thanks for putting a face with Leicester Christmas Lights. Now we know who you are.
Yeah, that's about a face people want to see. But
all right. Well, Mike Shivick signing off, Scott Weikel, and if there's any questions, direct them right to this gentleman right here. And thanks for taking the time to come on down here. And we're in the Citizens Corner.
thank you, Mike.
Right.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.